Hello everyone, welcome back to Data Analysis YouTube channel. This particular tutorial, we will be talking about flash fill. So flash fill is a very interesting function in Microsoft Excel that is very useful for recognizing patterns and applying the patterns to other parts of the data easily. So flash fill is very useful, especially when you want to replicate data that has a certain pattern in another column. It's very easy to use flash fill. So let us get started. In this tutorial, very specifically, we will go through how to use the different methods that we can use flash fill, okay, so that whichever method that the user remembers quickly, you can use that one to apply flash fill to your data. So right here in the first part, we have months, okay, this is data for months of the year. And in most cases, you just need the abbreviation of the month. So by abbreviation, I mean the first three alphabets of the month in most instances, right? So this can be done using flash fill very easily instead of getting to type all the months of the year information one after the other in column B, which is the abbreviated months column. You can actually use flash fill to do this within seconds. But before we go into that, it's just to let you know, this is very important, caution. So flash fill is not a formula, so it is not dynamic. When there are changes to the source data, you need to update your flash fill data manually, right? And flash fill, another caution is that flash fill can only find a pattern when it is close to the source data. We are going to see this as we go into the tutorial. So for this particular first section, which is months of the year, I want to get the abbreviated months, which is basically the first three alphabets of the month. So after typing this, MAR, of course, you need to put in the first cell of information so that you can tell Microsoft Excel, this is how I want my data to be represented. And for this section of practice, we're going to use the flash fill that is on the option in the Home tab. So you can see flash fill as one of the options in the Home tab under the sections Editing, just like I have here. So you can actually select the cell where you have imputed the first information that you want to representing the pattern that you want to be flash filled in other parts of the column. Okay, so I am just going to look for this in the editing section of the Home tab. Right here, I click on the drop down, and here I can find flash fill. And then I've clicked on flash fill, and this is what we have. Just within seconds, I have the first three alphabets of the months of the year represented in column B. Okay, so I'm going to do Ctrl Z, which is to undo, because I want to show us something else. You must not select the particular cell that you have put in the information in the pattern that you want the rest of your information to be flash filled. You can actually select one of the cells in that column, and then, just like I have done, okay, and you click on the drop down, one of the options on the editing section of the Home tab. So I click on this drop down and I click on flash fill, and this is what I have. So it gives you the same information, right? So you do not need to bother if you cannot, of course, select the first cell, because you might have like 1,000 rows of data, and I mean, for one reason or the other, you may not need to select the first cell. So these are the options that you have while doing flash fill. And then it is also very important to note that After I have done my flash fill, I just zoomed my information. When you come down to when you come to the bottom left of your Excel file, you're going to see this information. So flash fill changed cells is 14. And of course, if you count the number of these you're going to see that it was 14 cells. Flash fill was actually applied to 14 cells because the first cell, okay, which is cell B2, I entered the information manually. The flash fill option was applicable only from to cells B3 to cells B16, which is 14 in number. And how do I know it is 14, by the way? So I can just do this, count A, and I want to count this from B3 to B16, and that I have 14. So if you want to see a more explicit tutorial on basic functions like count if, count a, count, the link to those videos is in the description box. There is a very explicit video about basic Microsoft Excel formulas like count, count a, and in that particular tutorial, it was explained when to use which particular function. So let us go to the next. You can also apply flash fill with dates. And in this particular situation, all I need is just the year information, right? So in this case, like I mentioned, I'm going to enter the first information in the cell so that Excel can know the pattern that I want it to recognize for me. And in this situation, we are going to the second method. I want to do flash fill using a shortcut, which is Ctrl E. Okay, so what I do is this. I highlight all the cells in the column that I want my flash filled information to show. And then I do Ctrl E on my keyboard, and this is what I have. Super perfect. So I'm going to just do Ctrl Z to go back. Another thing that I can do is, like I mentioned, you do not have to highlight you do not have to select rather all the cells in the column that you want flash filled, including the first cell. You can also do this. You just select any of the cells in the column where you want your flash filled information to be represented. And then you do Control E on your keyboard, and then you have the information flash filled for you within seconds. So amazing. So we are going to go to the next part of it, which is applying flash fill to names and trying to rearrange the names in different ways. And this is very important because most times the information that comes to you comes in different forms, and you want to consolidate the information to suit a particular use at a point in time. So of course, for this one, this is how you can do this. First of all, I am going to apply my format painter to these headings so that I make them look nice and beautiful as well. So let me do that quickly. And this is what I've got. Beautiful. And then in this particular section of the practice, we are going to learn how to do flash fill. We just type in the information. So you type the first information in the first cell that you want, and then you attempt to type the second one, and Microsoft Excel will have recognized the pattern and it will suggest that pattern for you. So let us do with the first one. This time around, I want the full names. Okay, so I type doorbell, and then I try to type springboard, and this is it. Just like we can see in the faint, we have some faint words lined up, which is Excel recognizing a pattern and suggesting that if this is the pattern that I want, then I just click enter on my keyboard, and my flash fill has been applied to all the information that is in cell I and J within seconds. This is really beautiful. And then let us also try another option of having the last name first, separated by a comma, and then you will have the first name. So let us do this. And the first name, and I'm going to do for the next one. And Excel has also recognized another pattern, and it is suggesting if this is the pattern that I want to continue. And of course, you click the enter button, you hit the enter button on your keyboard rather, and you have all the information, you have the information in the column flash field for you automatically. So we are going to apply this to another scenario. We're going to have another example, but let me do a format painter on my heading because I want my headings to stand out and to look consistent with the other ones and to look very beautiful. So I'm going to do the format painter to the last one, and here we go. So we are also going to practice how to just type, okay, the information in the first cell. And while we are trying to type the same pattern of information in the second cell, Excel will recognize a pattern and suggest a flash fill option for us. And in this situation, so let's say you're working with a company that has an official email address, that the official email address is made up of the first and the last name of each of the staff at the domain name of the company, right? So let's say, for example, we have Door, Bell, okay, at tonypash.com. And this is what we have, right? So let us try this for the second one. Springboard.com, spring.board@tonypash.com, for example. And as I hit the enter button on my keyboard, I have that flash filled up to the last part of the information. This is incredible. So we go to the next example, which is just getting the initials of the name and the first name and the surname of all the staff in the company. So I am just going to do DB, and for this one, of course, we just want to see if we want to type this, and Excel has also recognized a pattern for me, and I hit the enter button on my keyboard, and this is what I have. And then we have a last example for this particular tutorial, which is separating the first name and the surname. So there's instances where information data is sent to you. The first name, you have the full name, okay, of either it's a staff list or it's a customer list or it's a vendor list. It could be any kind of list. And you have the full names, right? And you want to differentiate, you want to divide the first name from the surname, okay? You can also use flash fill for this kind of operation. And in addition to having flash fill as one of the tabs in the editing section of the home tab, and also using Ctrl E, and also doing flash fill with just typing for Excel to detect or recognize the pattern. We can also do flash fill with using the flash fill button that is in data tools section of the data tab. Okay, so I'm just going to type here door, and then I have selected an empty cell in the column where I want the flash field information to be reflected in. So I've highlighted an empty cell, and like I mentioned, using flash fill in data tools in data tab. So here we have data, and this is the data tools section. And one of the options here says, this is it, flash fill. So I click on flash fill, and this is what I have. Very incredible. So the next one is Bell, and I am going to do the same. This time I select an empty cell that is just below the first cell where I typed the information, that has the pattern that I want Excel to flash fill for me. And as I click on this flash fill button, this is what I have. So these are the various ways that we can use flash fill. And just like we talked about the caution, so flash fill, like we mentioned, is not a formula, of course. For the information that has been flash filled, when you select any of the cells and you check the formula bar, you're not going to find a formula. So what this means is that when there is a change in the source data, your information that has been flash filled is not going to change. Okay, so for example, we change this word, this particular word. So I am right now in column J. When you want to change this particular word, let me just highlight it. Yes, this one. So let us say we change it from some to much, and I hit enter on the keyboard. Nothing happens. So this information that has been flash filled has not changed. So flash fill is not a formula, so it is not dynamic. When there are changes to the source data, you need to update your flash filled information manually. So most of the time, you apply flash fill to data that is pretty much ready for use or is pretty much static, not data that will change very frequently. So you apply it to data that is quite static. And then the next caution is that flash fill can only find a pattern when it is close to the source data. In this situation, let us try to see if we can apply flash fill, okay, to the months of the year to get these abbreviated months, just like we've gotten here. Let us see if we can do that, okay, beginning from column cell number B20. And I'm just going to do MAR because that is the first, right? That is the first. So cell A2 is March, and I come here and do MAR. And let's say I do Control E, right? Because that's the flash fill. So this is what I have. Microsoft Excel has popped this up for me to say, we looked at all the data next to your selection and didn't find a pattern for filling in values for you. To use flash fill, enter a couple of examples of the output you'd like to see, keep the active cell in the column you want filled in, and click the flash fill button again. This is happening because Excel has not recognized any source data close or by the side of this particular data, this particular cell or column that I want my flash field information to be represented in. I hope this tutorial was very useful. These are the ways that you can use flash fill to make your life super easy. And of course, the link to the data file is in the description box. So please do well to go to the description box and get the link to the data file so that you can practice this on your own and you can gain mastery of the use of flash fill and apply it to every aspect of work that you need to apply flash fill to. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you are visiting this YouTube channel for the first time, please do well to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you like the flash fill content, and also share this link, share the video with your friends and your colleagues. And please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when we upload new videos to the YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is dedicated to simplifying everything about Microsoft Excel, which is a very useful application in our everyday lives. Thank you so much for stopping by, and see you in the next video with even more awesome content.